I-80 through Wyoming is shut down right now. Extreme blow over risk, gusts above 60 miles per hour. I-94 through North Dakota has near zero visibility with multiple sections fully closed, and 5 major American cities are under separate weather emergencies. At this exact hour, Atlanta for tornadoes, Charlotte for flash flooding, Boston for a snow warning, Washington, D.C. for severe thunderstorms, and Buffalo for a blizzard, all 5. All different, all happening simultaneously right now. Here is the number that puts today in context while the Great Lakes are dealing with the strongest clipper of the season. The southeast corridor from Birmingham through Atlanta through South Carolina has golf ball-sized hail on the ground this afternoon, an active tornado, warnings across 3 states, 2 completely different weather emergencies. Same map, same hour, and the bigger one is still 4 days away. And here is the detail that separates this weekend from everything else we have tracked. This year, the second storm arriving Saturday night is forecast to deepen to 973 millibars. And some ensemble members are taking it all the way to the upper 960s, which forecasters are describing as incredibly low pressure, especially over land, and a storm that intense. Taking that track is why the words potentially 3 feet or more are already being used for eastern Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula before the storm has even finished organizing. But before we go anywhere else, you need to know what just happened, because a husband and wife married for over 60 years were found in the yard behind their home in Lake Village, Indiana. Just days before the husband's 90th birthday, their home was destroyed by an EF3 tornado that was on the ground for 81 minutes. Cutting a 37-mile path with 150-mile-per-hour winds, 140,000 people lost power. At least 17 tornadoes confirmed across 6 states over 3 days. 358 total storm reports in a single day. Entire blocks leveled in Aroma Park, and with those communities still in cleanup mode. The same corridor is being targeted again this Sunday. And if you are in Atlanta, Birmingham, Charlotte, or anywhere across the southeast right now, this is your update for today. Not Sunday, Atlanta is the epicenter of a tornado and severe storm threat happening this afternoon. Birmingham has active tornado and severe storm warnings. Charlotte is under a flash flood and severe thunderstorm alert right now. Golf ball-sized hail is coming down across Alabama through Georgia through South Carolina, and the flash flood threat from 2 to 4 inches of rain in just a few hours is going to be active across Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia into tonight. Keep your phone charged and your alerts on through this evening. Now here is what connects today's road closures to Sunday's storm. I-94, which is already shut down through parts of North Dakota right now because of Storm 1, runs directly through the blizzard zone that Storm 2 is targeting for Sunday. The same corridor of interstates that is impassable today is going to be dangerous again by Sunday night. And if you are planning any travel between Friday afternoon and Monday morning, anywhere from the Dakotas through Wisconsin and into Michigan, the window to do it safely is narrowing fast, and it closes completely Saturday night. Storm 1 is the one on top of us right now, and I want you to understand what strongest clipper of the season actually means in practice. The low pressure center has already deepened below 985 millibars. It is compact and fast moving, but the pressure gradient it is generating is driving gusts over 70 miles per hour across Minnesota and Iowa, crashing through northern Illinois and Wisconsin, into Indiana, Ohio, and Michigan. These are the winds that bring down trees, scatter debris, and knock out power for tens of thousands of people well before the snow even starts. Duluth is looking at 10 inches from Storm 1 alone. International Falls at 9.5 Upper Peninsula of Michigan, anywhere from 5 to 10 inches today, into Friday northern lower Michigan from 9 to 12 inches. And the real problem with every one of those totals is not the snow falling from the sky. It is the 30 to 50 mile per hour gusts blowing it sideways. Combined snowfall and wind-driven snow means near zero visibility in the worst of the bands. And that is exactly what has I-94 through North Dakota locked down right now. Storm 1 sets the table. Storm 2 brings the whole meal. Drop your city in the comments right now if you are anywhere from Minnesota through Wisconsin into Michigan. Tell us your Storm 1 total as it stands this morning and what your roads are doing. Those real-time ground reports feed directly into tomorrow's Storm 2 breakdown. Because whatever Storm 1 drops is the base that Storm 2 piles on top of. And knowing those actual numbers from actual people on the ground helps us nail the most accurate totals for your specific area heading into Sunday. Now follow me on this because Storm 2 is where this whole weekend gets genuinely serious. Late Saturday night, a new low-pressure system develops out of Montana, and the Rockies by Sunday morning it is deepening fast, tracking into a double-barreled setup near Kansas City before the northern system consolidates and bombs out 973 millibars is the main forecast. Upper 960s on some ensemble members, and a bomb cyclone that reaches 973 millibars over the interior United States is not just a snowstorm. It is the kind of system that makes the history books for March. Here is why the track matters more than any single number the storm takes, what forecasters call a left-hand turn into a negatively tilted trough. And that means it slows down hard. A slow-moving 973 millibar bomb cyclone parked over the Midwest is the exact recipe for the kind of snowfall rates and accumulations that shut down interstates for days. Snowfall rates inside the heaviest bands are going to hit 1 to 2 inches per hour. The pressure gradient is going to drive 40 to 60 mile per hour winds through all of that falling snow simultaneously. And somebody is going to wake up Monday morning to a world that does not look like March. Blizzard conditions Sunday afternoon into Monday, that is not speculation. That is the forecast. I have been watching this GFS run all morning, and the numbers for Green Bay are genuinely hard to type with a straight face. 35 inches combined from both storms, Sheboygan at 30, Milwaukee at 20, the National Weather Service's more conservative blend of models, which is the product I trust most on extreme setups like this, is calling for 1 to 3 feet across Wisconsin and Michigan, Grand Rapids, and Traverse City, over a foot from Storm 2 alone Minneapolis in the 8 to 12 inch range from Storm 2 on top of Storm 1's total Duluth could clear 18 inches combined, and Toronto and Quebec City in the crosshairs with 4 to 8 inches as Storm 2 tracks northeast into Canada. We are at the halfway mark, and the ice storm is the detail that is going to fly under the radar. Do not miss the next 60 seconds here is how the ice storm sets up just north of Chicago, south of Madison. Stretching east into central Michigan, there is a narrow transition zone shown in pink on the forecast maps, and if you live right in that corridor, you are not in the snow zone and not in the rain zone. You are in the worst of all possible zones, a quarter inch or more of freezing rain coating every surface, glazing every road, bringing down power lines that Storm 1's 70-mile-per-hour winds already stressed 2 days earlier. And here is the part that gets me. Madison is looking at 32 degrees and wind-driven snow, while Chicago simultaneously sees 35 to 45 with sleet. A 50-mile difference in where you live could be the difference between a foot of snow and a half inch of ice. You have got 24 hours on Saturday. Use every single one of them. Now let's talk about what is running right between those two storms, because while the Great Lakes are blizzarding on Sunday, the south and southeast are simultaneously in a dangerous, severe weather setup, and this is not a minor squall line. This is a system the Storm Prediction Center has already issued a 15% risk for, stretching from the Arklatex all the way through Memphis, Shreveport, Little Rock, and southeastern Missouri, and forecasters are watching for that risk area to expand northward if moisture return comes in better than currently modeled. Here is what gets me about Sunday's setup. Forecasters are calling this system more strongly forced than the outbreak that just happened on Tuesday. And Tuesday gave us an EF3 on the ground for 81 minutes, 358 storm reports in a single day. and 140,000 people without power. So when the same forecasters say more strongly forced, that is not a phrase being thrown around carelessly. The primary hazard is widespread, significant, damaging straight-line winds from a fast-moving squall line. But with the wind shear in this setup, embedded tornadoes along the leading edge cannot be ruled out. And the most dangerous window is after dark Sunday night when the line rolls through Memphis and western Tennessee while most people are already asleep. Here is the Sunday severe weather timeline to put in your phone right now. Storms begin developing across East Texas and Louisiana by late morning. As Gulf moisture loads the atmosphere, a squall line organizes from Dallas through Shreveport and Little Rock by early afternoon, by 4 to 6 p.m. Central, that line is crossing western Tennessee, western Kentucky, and heading into the Ohio Valley, and then overnight Sunday into Monday, the threat continues across Dixie Alley, the crawfish festivals. The spring break outdoor events across the South this weekend. You need a weather plan before Sunday morning, not when the first thunder rolls in. After dark, fast moving, embedded tornadoes Memphis to western Tennessee. Sunday night, have your warning system ready before you go to sleep. And then Monday is the East Coast's turn. And this is the piece of the forecast that most national coverage is not watching closely enough. Yet the Storm Prediction Center has already posted a separate 15% risk for Monday afternoon that puts Raleigh, Charlotte, Washington, D.C., and Baltimore directly in the crosshairs. We are talking 70 to 75 mile per hour winds along the advancing cold front. A massive temperature drop right behind it. And this is already being called the biggest severe weather event of the year so far for the entire East Coast. Richmond is already seeing serious thunderstorms today. And that is just the opening act for what Monday brings. Now here is the Arctic blast, and I know most of us are plumb done with winter by mid-March. But this is not a run-of-the-mill cold snap by Sunday morning. Wind chills are already running 15 below zero in North Dakota. By Monday morning, it is 20 below zero in Minneapolis, and Des Moines, Chicago, and northern Illinois near 20 below, Wisconsin and Michigan at 10 to 15 below wind chill. Tuesday morning, Dallas-Fort Worth, which is running in the upper 70s today, wakes up Monday morning feeling like the 20s, and below normal temperatures push all the way to the Gulf Coast, into northern Mexico, and down into Florida by midweek. And here is the number that stops people cold every time: 40 below zero wind chill in Ontario. Canada by Tuesday morning, that causes frostbite on exposed skin in less than 20 minutes. School delays are genuinely on the table for March in Iowa and Minnesota. Yes, in March, and when you hear people say this is the last significant Arctic blast of the winter, the words last and significant are doing a lot of heavy lifting. Because 20 below zero wind chill in mid-March still bursts pipes in older homes, still sends people to the hospital for frostbite, and still makes Monday morning feel like the worst day of February. Here is how Saturday plays out for the severe weather corridor if you are in Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, or the Ohio Valley. Saturday looks calm and even warm. Memphis is forecast at 55 to 70 degrees, and that calm is exactly the trap people see Friday's sunshine and Saturday's warm temperatures and convince themselves the storm talk is overblown. Then Sunday evening, the squall line arrives after dark, and the sirens go off while some people are already asleep without a working weather alert. The peaceful Saturday is not reassurance. It is the setup for Sunday night, and that window is your only chance to confirm your shelter plan and plug in your NOAA weather radio before Sunday, not during it. We are at the 3-minute mark, and for the blizzard zone. This is your Saturday to-do list. Chicago at 35 to 46 degrees today with mixed precip moving in. Milwaukee at 34 to 45 with 45 mile per hour gusts already building. Madison at 32 to 44, Minneapolis at 28 to 42. Clear the driveway from Storm 1 while you still can. Top off the generator. Move vehicles under cover. Pick up road salt if it is still on the shelves, and make a real decision about Monday morning's commute right now, because I-90 and I-94 through the blizzard zone are going to be genuinely dangerous Monday morning, and deciding Sunday night is deciding too late. Check on your elderly neighbors before Saturday night. They are the most at risk when the temperature drops this fast and this hard. And if you have family in the blizzard zone or severe weather corridor, drop their city in the comments too. Now here is what is sitting on the other side of all this cold once Storm 2 tracks northeast and the Arctic blast fades behind it. The pattern flips hard or robust. Highly amplified ridge of high pressure parks itself over the Great Basin and desert Southwest. Beginning around March 17th, the Climate Prediction Center is showing 100% confidence in above average temperatures for Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Santa Fe, all the way up to Billings, Southern California and Arizona, looking at widespread 90s. With spots potentially breaking 100 to 103 degrees. And if you are headed to spring training in Arizona next week, bring water and find shade, because it is going to feel a whole lot more like July than March out there. And here is what that ridge means beyond baseball games. No moisture for the desert Southwest means the drought across the Four Corners region, and the Southern Plains intensifies heading into late March. The ridge dominates the western two-thirds of the country through the end of the month, while the Northeast stays stuck under a trough, keeping things unsettled and cold. That west to east split is the dominant pattern for the back half of March. And I do not see it budging before April. From 20 below zero in Minneapolis on Monday to 103 degrees in Arizona the following weekend, welcome to March 2026. Here is the full preparedness checklist by where you live. Snowbelt from Minnesota through Wisconsin and Michigan into upstate New York. Check Storm 1 conditions right now. Saturday is your 24-hour recovery window, so use every hour. Storm 2. Plan locked before Saturday night severe weather corridor from the Arklatex through the Ohio Valley shelter location, confirmed today. NOAA weather radio plugged in before Sunday morning. Vehicles undercover Saturday. Family emergency plan communicated before Sunday, not during it East Coast from the southeast through the mid-Atlantic. Monday is your severe weather day. 70 to 75 miles per hour winds hit D.C. Raleigh, Charlotte, and Baltimore Monday afternoon. Have a warning system ready everywhere. For everyone, do not be scared. Be prepared. 20 below zero wind chill means frostbite in under 30 minutes. And burst pipe risk is real in any home that was not built for sub-zero temperatures. I keep coming back to that couple in Lake Village, married over 60 years. Just days from the husband's 90th birthday, found in the yard behind their home after the EF3 came through. And right now, those communities in Aroma Park and Lake Village are still in cleanup mode. And they are back in the crosshairs for Sunday's severe weather and Monday's Arctic blast. The entire corridor from the Arklatex through Indiana has been through the most brutal stretch of weather in 2026, and the families who feel like they just caught their breath are the ones this forecast is most worried about. Transition zones are where the surprises happen, and that whole corridor is one long transition zone right now. Now here is what I want you to drop in the comments, not just your city, not just your snow total. Tell me which part of this weekend you need the most detail on. Are you in the blizzard zone from Minneapolis to Milwaukee to Detroit, and you want a specific hour-by-hour timeline for your city on Sunday? Are you in the severe weather corridor from Dallas to Memphis to the Ohio Valley, and you need to know the exact window when the squall line hits your county? Are you in Atlanta or Charlotte right now dealing with today's tornado and flash flood threat? Or are you on the East Coast watching Monday's event build and you want to know what D.C. Raleigh or Baltimore look like hour by hour? Drop your region and your question, and we will work through as many as we can in tomorrow's update. The big picture in one sentence: the same atmospheric machine that produced an EF3 on the ground for 81 minutes and 17 confirmed tornadoes across 6 states is resetting for another run this weekend. And this time it is bringing a 973 millibar bomb cyclone. A 35-inch snowfall signal in Wisconsin, a straight-line wind event after dark in Tennessee, 70 miles per hour winds in Washington, D.C. on Monday, 20 below zero wind chills in Minneapolis by Tuesday. and 103 degrees in Arizona by the following weekend. All of it connected, all of it from the same pattern, all of it coming at once. And the most important thing I can leave you with before tomorrow's update, the most dangerous moment in any multi-storm sequence is not the worst storm. It is the gap between them, those 24 hours on Saturday when Storm 1 is finished. The roads look passable. Maybe the sun even comes out. That is exactly the window when people exhale, when preparations get skipped, when the generator does not get tested and Storm 2 is not going to send you a calendar reminder that you missed your prep window. It's just going to arrive Saturday night while you are still assuming the worst is already behind you. Here is what is in tomorrow's video. By morning, we will have high-resolution short-range model data for Storm 2's exact track. And that data answers the three questions. This whole setup hinges on, does the blizzard core sit over Chicago or stay north over Milwaukee? And Green Bay, do Sundays dew points verify high enough to push the squall line from a wind event into a tornado outbreak from Texas to Ohio? And does the East Coast Monday event reach enhanced risk status for Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Raleigh turn notifications on right now? Because if the models shift overnight, that update goes out before sunrise. And on a setup this complex, the people who see it first have the most time to act.